Kitten, I'm doing my best, truly. But your 4 tiny gremlins have formed a united front, and I fear negotiations have failed. You said, just keep them off me while I nap. A simple request. Reasonable. Achievable. In theory. In practice. Bandit is currently attempting his 5th stealth infiltration. He's using the shadows. He's using me as cover. I swear he winked before making his move. Vex has no strategy whatsoever. She's just launching herself at the bed like a furry missile. I've caught her mid-air twice. She thinks it's a game. I think I'm developing reflexes I didn't know I had. Rune has stolen my sock. I don't know how this helps him get to you, but he seems very proud of himself. He keeps trotting past me with it like he's parading a trophy from a war I didn't know we were fighting. And Mira is the only one who could help me. But instead she's glued to my side like my tiny judgmental bodyguard. Every time I try to stand up to intercept one of her siblings, she meows at me like I'm abandoning my post. I'm being held hostage by the only kitten who actually likes me. Meanwhile, you're over there sleeping peacefully, blissfully unaware that I'm locked in a forefront battle against creatures who weigh less than a sandwich but possess the tactical brilliance of seasoned operatives. If one of them manages to slip past me and curl up on you, just know I fought valiantly. I fought bravely until the very end. And when you wake up, I expect sympathy. And maybe a kiss. Possibly 2. Kitten, before you try to talk me down, let me be clear. I don't regret a damn thing I said to him. Not the tone, not the stare, not the part where he suddenly remembered he had somewhere else to be. He spoke to you like you were nothing, like he had the right, like I wasn't standing right there, and I won't tolerate that. Not when it comes to you, not ever. You're strong, I know that. You don't need me to fight your battles. But that doesn't mean I stand there and let someone disrespect what I care about, what I choose, what I protect. You're mine in the way that matters. Not owned, not controlled, but claimed, chosen. And when someone talks to you like you're less than that, of course I react, I step in, I let my voice get sharp enough to cut. If you think I went too far, I'll hear you out. But don't mistake my anger for something aimed at you. It wasn't. It never is. It was for you. Because you matter. Because you're worth defending. Because I won't let anyone treat you like anything less than the person I'd go to war for. And if someone tries it again, I'll handle it again, without hesitation. So, let me get this straight. You refuse, absolutely refuse, to move the 4 tiny tyrants off your side of the bed. And your brilliant solution is that you will just sleep on top of me instead. Fascinating, truly. A masterclass in problem solving. Bandit is curled against your hip like he owns the deed to the mattress. Vex is sprawled across your pillow in a position that defies physics. Rune is nesting in the blanket like he's building a fortress. And Mira is giving me that look, the one that says, touch her and perish. So instead of moving their highnesses, your answer to all of this is to climb onto my chest and declare, well, there's room here. I'm not saying it's a bad plan. I'm just saying it's suspiciously convenient for you. Warm, comfortable, conveniently located. Almost like you wanted an excuse to be glued to me all night. But fine. If you insist on using me as your personal mattress, I suppose I'll endure it. I'll suffer through your weight on me, your warmth pressed against me, your breath on my neck. Terrible, truly awful, a real hardship. Just don't act surprised when I wrap my arms around you, purely to keep you from rolling off, of course. Not because I enjoy it, not because I want you close, not because this is exactly where I want you. No, this is all for safety, stability, structural integrity, and definitely not because I like having you right here. Kitten, you do realize what you started, right? You sent one text. Send pics? With absolutely no clarification, no qualifiers, nothing. And of course, the timing was perfect. I was mid-mission, comms open, Luke and Kieran right beside me. So when your message popped up on my screen, they both leaned over like nosy vultures. Luke read it first. He choked on his breath. Kieran just whispered, "Oh no," like I'd been handed a detonator. And since you didn't specify what kind of photos you wanted, they immediately assumed the spiciest interpretation possible, which, frankly, is your fault. You know exactly how my mind works. So now I'm crouched behind cover, pretending to be annoyed, while very calmly deciding how far I can take this without compromising the mission or giving Luke a heart attack. You're getting one shot of me looking far too composed for someone being shot at. One with my jacket unzipped just enough to make Luke drop his tablet. And one where I'm giving you that look. The one that says exactly what I'm thinking of doing to you right now. All technically mission appropriate. All just barely within the limits of what I can get away with. All absolutely designed to make you blush. Luke is begging me to stop. Kieran is pretending not to look. And I'm blaming you for every second of this insanity. Now behave until I get back. Or don't. Clearly that's not your strong suit. Kitten, Luke, and Kieran are still trying to rename the kittens. And the best part? The kittens are ignoring them with the kind of calm, silent judgment usually reserved for royalty. Bandit didn't even look up when Luke called him Turbo Noodle, just blinked once, very slowly, like he was disappointed in humanity. Vex heard Biscuit Thunder strike and immediately walked away. Not ran, not scampered, just turned her back and left the room like she had better things to do. Honestly, I respect it. Rune was offered pocket havoc. He responded by stealing Kieran's pen and leaving. Message received, and Mira, sweet Mira, was introduced as Lady Fluffington III. She stared at them for a full 5 seconds, then climbed into my lap and refused to move, a clear statement of allegiance, possibly a declaration of war. Luke and Kieran, however, are undeterred. They're convinced the kittens are warming up to the branding. They aren't. I'm telling you this because I know the moment you hear these names, you're going to laugh instead of helping me stop this, which is exactly why I'm warning you now, before Turbo Noodle becomes something they try to embroider on a collar. Kitten, you once asked if I knew the scent of your soul, and I told you the truth. Strong liquor with salt on the rim, warm, restless, always simmering, something that never settles, something that never stops wanting. Wine wishes it had your depth. Wine mellows with age, you sharpen. Wine grows quiet. You grow louder, brighter, more impossible to ignore. There are vintages people guard for decades, waiting for the perfect moment. But you're the kind of taste that ruins a man for anything gentler. One sip and the world feels muted after. Wine lingers on the tongue. You linger in the bloodstream, in the breath, in the places thought doesn't reach until it's already too late. And where wine warms, you ignite. That same liquor and salt heat I named in you, the kind that coils low and never cools, the kind that makes a man reach for more, even when he knows he's already undone. So yes, I can compare you to wine, but wine should feel flattered. It's never undone me the way you do. Mephisto is staging a rebellion, a very dramatic one. Full wingspan, metallic indignation, the whole performance. He's been circling the room like a tiny, furious satellite, clicking his beak at the kittens as if he's trying to file a formal complaint. They, of course, are entirely unbothered. Rune tried to bat at his tail. Mira blinked at him once and went back to grooming. Vex didn't even look up. And Bandit tried to sit on him. I've never seen a mechanical crow look personally offended before. He landed on my shoulder a few minutes ago, puffed himself up, and made a noise that can only be translated as, "You have replaced me with soft purring chaos gremlins, and I will not stand for it." I told him he's still important. He responded by turning his head away like a Victorian widow snubbing a suitor. Very dramatic, very Mephisto. He keeps glancing at you, too, like he's waiting for you to notice his suffering and offer him some kind of ceremonial apology, preferably with treats or polishing, or both. So, in summary, the kittens are thriving. You're glowing, and Mephisto is convinced he's living through a tragic opera of neglect. You might need to give him a little attention before he starts composing ballads about betrayal. Though I'll admit, seeing you surrounded by all of them, fur, feathers, and mechanical indignation, it's a sight I could get used to.